of day 6 of our children's class. Let's start with some prayers. Kindle the fire of love, and burn away all things that set thy foot into the land of lovers. Kindle the fire of love, and burn away all things.
Thank you so much, Bahira. So we have already talked about manifestations of God, right?
Yeah.
So manifestations of God are these special beings. Yes. Are these special beings who come from time to time to guide humanity, right?
Yes.
So to manifest something, what does it mean? To manifest something. Like I'm manifesting something. Can you guess like what it means to manifest?
I don't know.
Like manifest to?
I don't know.
Manifest something maybe. Do you remember the example of a
To show something.
Exactly. So the manifestations of God are like, you remember the example we had? They're like what?
They're like manifestations to show the virtues.
Exactly. So did we talk about the example of a mirror?
Yes, but I've said that so many times. I think you know it.
Okay, very good. So we're just reviewing two concepts about showing forth the qualities of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're just like mirrors that show forth the light of God. They also manifest, they show some qualities of God. So what are some of those qualities?
Truthfulness.
Exactly.
Like truthfulness is the foundation of all human virtues.
Yeah.
Being humble, being kind, being united.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So basically, through them, we learn these qualities of God and attributes of God. So we have also learned one other concept about the manifestations of God, that they shed light of God onto humanity, right? So do you think we can see if it's really dark? Can you you go in a dark room, like when your room is really dark at night? Do you think you can see?
No, not at all.
So what does it take? What do you do in your room? What do you do in your room to see when it's dark?
I get a light or
Exactly. The light will enable us to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
So manifestation of God also shed the light of God onto humanity, right? So basically it enables us to understand how God wants us to live and to behave toward each other, right? So you know that when we follow these teachings of God through His manifestation, we develop these capacities, the capacities you mentioned. So the capacity to do what? You just mentioned few.
Yeah, like to have virtues and to be united and to love each other.
Exactly, yeah, to love, to forgive, to be merciful. So we develop these capacities and we grow. As we do that, we grow spiritually and help the world become the way that God wants it to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as He has created it to be. So, for example, it is the love for the beauty of God that makes us want to follow His commandments and to give us commandments that God has given us, okay? Through His manifestations. So this was what we reviewed so far, right? Two things. One, gods are like manifesting through the mirrors, and the other one was shedding a light, right? Okay, now there is one other thing. there is one other thing. So manifestations are like one other thing, divine teachers. That they come from time to time. They're like educators. Right now, how do you connect with your teachers at the school?
I ask them a question, and
Do you see them these days?
No.
How do you have a school these days?
I have video chats, and I do them online.
Exactly. So, but manifestations of God are exactly like those educators. They have come from time to time through the history to educate us. But they have come during the history in different parts of the world, with different histories, among diverse peoples. So very soon, Soraya, we are going to learn about the history of all of these manifestations of God. We are going to learn about them, about their lives, and some of the teachings they have brought for us, and how they have all come for one purpose: to educate people, establish bonds of unity and love among all the people. But there is one other important message, Soraya. Do you know one other important message?
To bring peace and unity.
Exactly. But each one of them has given us a promise. Anytime a manifestation of God has come,
A different promise?
there is like a promise. Like they all talk to the people of their land and say, hey, there is a promise. There is a time that will come in the future, that will eventually come, that all humanity would learn how to live in peace and harmony and happiness together. There will be justice. The hatred and war and injustice would disappear. They all promised about that day, that it will come at some point, and nations of the world would enjoy friendship and be getting along. For centuries, people everywhere have been anxious, patiently waiting for this promised day of God. But you know, Soraya, we are very lucky. We are so fortunate. You know why?
Why?
Because indeed, that new day
Has come.
has come. Exactly. It's today. That day has dawned, and the time to build a new world has come. It is so special. Today is so special that God sent not only one educator, but two educators at the same time to guide humanity to his kingdom. What are the names of two educators for
The
today?
Bab and Baha'u'llah.
Exactly. The Bab has come to prepare the way, to promise the coming of Baha'u'llah, and Baha'u'llah, whose teaching will enable humanity today to do away with war and establish lasting peace and harmony. The Bab and Baha'u'llah are called twin manifestation of God for today. So we are so fortunate. We are living the promise of all world religions. So there is a quotation. Maybe Soraya can share with us that quotation.
The time foreordained unto the peoples and kindreds of the earth is now come. The promises of God, as recorded on the Holy Scriptures, have all been fulfilled.
That's very exciting. Is there a word? Are there some words here that we or some friends who are watching may not know?
Foreordained?
Foreordained, yeah. So something that has been told in the past. So we said there was a promise. There is a promise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was told in the past. For example, we promised today that later today there is a time that we are going to watch a movie. So it's been foreordained. We have decided about it. We have told people ahead of time. So all of these manifestations have told people that a time is going to come, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other words? Like what are some holy scriptures?
Probably like notes kept from the way behind, because they're holy and they're by another past manifestation of God.
Exactly. So some examples of those are, for example, the Bible.
Yeah.
What else?
The Quran.
The Quran, Bhagavad Gita,
What?
and some other. We will go over all of the manifestations of God in the coming sessions. So that's the Holy Scriptures. And so do you want to read now that we have gone over the words one more time?
Okay. The time foreordained unto the peoples and kindreds of the earth is now come. The promises of God as recorded in the Holy Scriptures have all been fulfilled. So that was the end of day 6 of our children's class. So see you next time.
See you